Hey, what's up, JoJo in the Morning family? Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you're ready for a phenomenal week. It's going to be a great week. It is Christmas week. And also, it is Consistency Week. I know what you're thinking. Didn't we have Consistency Week a few months ago? Yes. And guess what? In a few months from now, there's a pretty good chance you will have a Consistency Week again. Why? Because you never outgrow the basics. When people talk about Christianity, I said, hey, look, it is the Word of God and it is your prayer life that keeps you strong. Well, I'm real prophetic. That's great. It is the Word of God and your prayer life that keeps you strong. Yeah, but I'm great. I got a great gift. That's wonderful. It is your prayer life and it is your daily reading the Word that keeps you close to God. Okay? Consistency is key. I will say that forever. I will never get away from teaching on consistency. The reason my walk with God is so strong is for 30 years, I have been found in the place of prayer early in the morning. I go to my prayer chair long before daylight. Mark 1:35, Jesus got up early in the morning, went to a solitary place where he prayed, getting in the Word of God every single day. Every single day, I'm in the Word. I have a Bible right here in my office at the house. I have a Bible in the sanctuary at the church. I have a Bible I got two Bibles in my office that I read. I've got some, on the bookshelf. But I got the Word everywhere. And so you got to learn your life will never get past or better than your daily routine. So whenever I'm discipling somebody, mentoring somebody, and they're struggling, I said, well, tell me about your daily routine. If they can't rattle off their daily routine, like in the first few seconds, I'm like, hey, there's your problem. You wake up in the morning and you think, what am I going to do? What am I going to eat for breakfast? I tell people my morning routine, if you would come to watch my morning routine, you would be bored. I get up, got the coffee ready, walk up, get a cup of coffee, get my breakfast protein bar, go sit down. I pray for a while. I pray in the Spirit. I do thanksgiving, thanks, gratitude to the Lord. Pray, I'm thankful. And then I pray in English over my family, friends, Roar Church Texarkana, our mentoring and partners that we're in partnership with. And then I pray in the Spirit. And then I just sit before the Lord. Give me a little bit of coffee. A little bit later, eat my breakfast bar. About 90 minutes, 2 hours. Spend time with the Lord. Drink a few cups of coffee. And just spend that time with Him every day. Consistency. When I'm really on a strict workout routine, I have a system. I'm very systematic. Life is not about your highlight reels. Your life is about your consistency. My daily walk with God is strong. It's been strong for 30 years. It's going to continue to be strong. That is where your strength comes from. I remember years ago, probably 20, 25 years ago, my wife and I started investing a little bit of money. And it just grows over time. And now we have our kids doing that. And it's just like we invest all the time. We're always investing in different things. And you just invest over time. And you'll turn around one day and you'll be like, wow, look at what the Lord has done. Because consistency. People who are healthy or people who are extremely unhealthy, they don't get that way overnight. An unhealthy person, they just gradually over time, they just get that way. A healthy person, workout after workout, eating regimen, just what they eat every day and the way they work out, that's how they get to where they are. So it is consistency. Consistency always pays off. 1 Corinthians 15:58. Therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast, immovable, always abound in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. Be steadfast. When you can be steadfast, steady, you're in there. Be immovable. You're not moving in situations especially when you stand for something biblical or you stand for something that is morally right. When you stand for righteousness, you stand. And unfortunately, a lot of times you'll stand alone or you'll have to stand against the majority. But when you stand for what's right, God's always there with you. You're going to be fine. You're going to have to learn how to stand. You're going to have to learn how to be consistent. I can't tell you how many times in my life when I was younger, and I'd be a part of a workout group, and I remember one time these guys were going to start at 5 a.m. There was 4 of us. Boy, we were going to get it. We all showed up on that first day. By the end of the week, we were 3. By the end of the next week, there was 2. By the end of the next week, it was me. But there was another guy in the gym that he had a bunch of workout partners that bailed out on him. He's about my age. We had a few common interests. And so I said, hey, man, you'll start working out? He said, yeah, man. I'd do my workout partner for a few years. Just started working out together and, consistency over time. Anything you do in life is consistency. Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Let us not grow weary in doing good. So when you're doing what's right, a lot of times nowadays it's not popular. But in due season, it's going to pay off. You just can't give up. A lot of people give up. I can't tell you how many times I've been in good revival services. And I remember I was preaching this revival one time and I asked the pastor, he was a vocational pastor, so he was there. And I said, hey, pastor, man, church is going good. You mind if we call a prayer meeting? It was so far away. I was there for 3-4 days. And he said, yeah, man, yeah, of course. And the first day, decent amount of people showed up that it wasn't working. Next day, a few more people showed up. The next day, a few more people showed up. And I was like, we're on to something here. Well, that revival extended. What it was the consistency of people coming to prayer, just not to the outpouring revival service, but the people wanting to come to prayer. Okay? I was helping somebody with some stocks one day. Somebody in my family, I was kind of showing them some stuff, and they were doing really good until they got some gains. Then they cashed out. They made a little bit of money, and I was just like, hey, that's good. But what are you going to do over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months when it really goes good? And they were like, well, I just wanted the money. And, that longevity is what it's about, in anything you do in life. Investing in your spouse. If you're married, find out what your spouse likes. Find out what their love language is and just consistently shower them with that. I can't tell you how many times in my life I've been consistently witnessing to people, just witnessing. And you know what? I don't know if they got tired of me messing with them or witnessing, but they would give their life to the Lord. In due season, you're going to reap if you don't give up. I can't tell you how many times I've been preaching a revival, and I'll be like, I don't care if you prayed for healing 1,000 times. And And I remember one time I was like, if you've prayed for something you feel in your heart over 100 times and it has not came to pass yet, come back up one more time. And I quoted Galatians 6:9, let us not grow weary in well-doing, for due season we will reap if we don't give up. And 7 people came up. They were just like grudgingly, oh my gosh, I'll answer the call. One guy said, you said 100. You could have said 1,000 and I would have came. He didn't get his prayer answered. About 7 people came up. 3 did. Right then. You never know when that moment of breakthrough from your consistency is going to shift everything. I remember one day I had a physical infirmity that lasted for 9 grueling months. Oh, it was painful. Oh, it hurt. And I remember every morning I would get up and I would say, I know that I'm healed today. And then I would check myself and I'd be like, nope, not healed today. 9 months believing I was healed every day. Never healed. Until one day I got up and I said, I'm going to check myself today to see if I'm healed. No more infirmity. Yep. I remember when I was young, I was seeking the Lord, and I had like a few years, I didn't even date anybody. I'm like, I'm not dating anybody till I meet my wife. I was set apart to God. I had prayer meetings 7 days a week. Sometimes multiple prayer meetings. All I did was prayer meetings. Just prayer meeting. I did preach a lot. But when I was young, and I'd do prayer meetings every day, 3 to 4 hours, When I would get off work at the church, I was working a job, and when I would get off work, I would go to the church for 4 hours and pray. And then on Sunday nights after church, I'd pray for 2 more hours. And on Wednesday after church, I'd pray. Well, the church ended up putting me on staff. And when I got off work, I'd just pray. I just pray for hours and hours and hours. And I'm like, Lord, I'm not dating until I meet my wife. I'm not dating until I meet my wife. And so somebody said, I want to introduce you to this girl. I'm like, I'm not dating to meet my wife. I knew I would know the second I saw her. And one day I just said, Lord, I'm just going to keep praying. I'm not worried about it. When you bring her, you bring her. I don't want to do that whole celibacy thing. But I'm not going to force anything. God, I'm committed to you 100%. I was at a prayer meeting, and I heard the door open. I remember like it was yesterday. I looked over to the left like this, and an angel walked into the building. The second I saw Autumn, I knew she was my wife. It took her a few weeks to hear the Lord concerning me. But I knew right when I saw her. But every day for a few years, I said, I will not date anybody until I meet my wife. I'm set apart to God. Set apart to God. Consistency. I did not grow weary in doing good. For in due season I knew I would reap if I did not give up. And I feel like I married the greatest person on planet Earth. Because of consistency. When you stay consistent to God, everything will start to fall into place just like He promised. All right. Hey, love you guys. I want to know, you can go to my website, jojodawson.net, to find anything you need to know about us. How to send a prayer request, how to become a monthly partner, or how to join our mentoring program. And also, we put out a blog a week. We have all of our blogs on there and all of our resources, okay? I love you guys, and y'all have a blessed day.